Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can create your first Swing Java GUI application in IntelliJ IDEA IDE. So let's get started. First of all, open your IntelliJ IDEA IDE, and in here we are going to create a new project. So just click new project here, and in here we need to choose the first option which says Java. Okay, and then we just need to click next, and in here we need to just click next once again because we don't want to choose any default template. So just click next, and in here we just need to give the name to our app. So for example, app swing. Okay, and then click finish. So it's going to create a blank Java project for us. So this is our project, and inside our project there is a source package or source folder, and we are going to create a new package inside this folder, and then we are going to create a new class inside the package. So for example, I'm going to just click on the source. So I'm going to right click on the source folder, and then I'm going to create a new package, and I'm going to name my package as com.code bind, for example. Okay, and click OK, and then inside the package we are going to create a new GUI form. So just right click, new, and search for GUI form, which is this option. Okay, so just click GUI form, and then give the name of your form, for example app. Okay, and then click OK. So it's going to create a new GUI form for us. So there are two files created here, app.form and app.java, right? So in the form we are going to design our GUI, and in the app.java we are going to write some code to add some functionality to it. Now by default this form contains one JPanel, and in here you can see the layout of this JPanel is by default grid layout manager. So in order to pick and place any component from the palette, you need to set first of all your layout using this layout manager. So there are some layouts you can see here defined. So for now I will leave the default layout, which is grid layout manager here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a J button here. So I'm going to just drag and drop a J button, and it's going to just be placed inside your J panel. Now let's give the name to our J panel. So by default you can see field name, and the J panel name is panel 1, for example. So we can change the name of our panel as, for example, panel main. Okay, and the name to our button will be, for example, button MSG, for message. Okay, so you can give the names which will be like a ID to your button. Okay, and when you go to the app.java class here, you can see whatever name you have given here, they will be created in your app.java class. So there will be some private variables created whenever you define this name here. Okay, so this is a simple J panel inside which we have a button. So for example, we want to show some message when we click this button. So how do we do it? First of all, I want to explain something about this palette. So from this palette you can see there are so many components here, like JPanel, buttons, JText fields, text pane, combo box, list, and everything else which it supports. So whatever component you want from here, you just need to drag and drop here, and then you just need to give a listener to this component. So for example, I want to press this button and I want to show some message. So I will just right click on this button and I'm going to add a listener to it. So just right click on the button, and then you see here it says create listener. So just click this create listener, and there are list of listeners which buttons can listen to. So for example, default listener is action event, so this is just like clicking the button. And then component listener or focus listener or input method listener, item listener, key listener. So there are few listeners for the button so that it can listen for some events. So we are going to choose the default listener, which is action listener. So just click on this first option and it's going to automatically create a method for you. You can see in the background. So just choose this action performed and then click OK here. So this is going to create this method by default for you. Okay, so this is your action listener method, which is called by your button, which is this one, right? And by default it overrides a function which is action performed, and inside this action performed you can write some code. So for example, if we want to show some message, so there is a component in Java Swing which is called JFrame. It's like a message box which opens and shows some message. So JFrame dot show message dialog. So just call a method called show message dialog, which takes two arguments, which first is null, which is the context here, and second is the message. For example, we want to just show the message hello world, so just write hello world here and then save your code. Now at this point your code will not run because you don't have any main method in your class. So let's create a main method in our class. So just go below this and just write public static void main, or you can just write PSVM for public static void main, and then click or press a tab here, which is going to create this method for you. And inside your main method, what we are going to do is we are going to create a JFrame. So just write JFrame and then name your frame. For example, frame itself is equal to new JFrame, and it takes one argument, which is the name of your app. For example, app itself. Okay, we take our frame object and call a method called set content pane here, and we can set the new content pane here. So we want to call this object which is jpanel in here. So we can just call our class which is app, and then we can call this object which is panel main. Now there is few more things remaining here. One is frame dot set closing method. So just write set default close operation, and in here just write JFrame dot exit on close. Okay, and then once again take your frame object and then call a method called pack. So just call method called pack, and at the last just call your frame, and then we are going to set it visible. So set visible is equal to true. Okay, so this is our main method, and in which we have defined the JFrame and we have called this panel inside the frame. Right, now save your code and we are going to run it. So just go here and then click this run button from here, and it's going to ask you for the class which we want to run, which is app class, and then it's going to compile this class and then it's going to run it. Okay, so let's see it runs. So you can see there is a small here frame appeared here, and it's like only button inside the frame. So you can just make it bigger for now, and when we click this button it's going to show some message. So it shows hello world. Once again, hello world. Okay, So this is the very basic program which you can create in your IntelliJ IDEA IDE, which is a GUI swing application here. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and bye for now.